It's Spiritual Psychic Cynthia Killian here, also known as Psychic Cynthia, and welcome back to your Level 1 Awakening Your Inner Psychic video course series. And today we're going to talk about the heart chakra. And you might notice that I am holding some greenery here as we're beginning this video. This is actually a branch from a holly tree. The leaves are quite sharp. And I've brought this up here with me tonight because holly is one of the plant vibrations that can very much help us to balance the heart chakra. And especially in the flower essence form, which is usually made from the flower of the plant. But holly is one of those unusual plants where I would tincture the berry too. Holly helps with softening the edges, the rough edges, the critical parts of ourselves, the grumpy parts. So it's an excellent plant vibration for balancing the heart chakra. And I wanted to have some of it with us tonight. Actually, it wanted to be here. And along with the holly, if we're doing flower essences to help with the heart chakra, which you may do later on, we would have pine essence. And again, that could either be from the flower, which would be very standard because they are called flower essences after all. Or I have a flower essence that I've made from the pine cones on the winter solstice. And that's what I would use for attuning with the pine energies. And of course, you can just be around the plants like I am here, having some branches that I asked for from my trees around here, my tree friends. And I'm using these in the wintertime to help me bring in some of that heart chakra energy. So anyway, just a fun way to open our talk tonight on the heart chakra and some things that might help you to attune with it. Some plants, I should say. I'm going to put this holly aside because I'm noticing that she's very sharp. These leaves are extremely sharp. So maybe I'll just hang with pine while we do this video tonight. So we're moving up in the chakra system tonight. And hopefully you've been watching the other videos in this series. Because, you know, it all builds on each other. And we just got done working with the lower chakra system. So that's all down here. Basically, you know, from the bottom of your rib cage down. Actually, the chakras aren't, you know, just physical. In fact, they're not really exactly physical. But in terms of where it corresponds, where it interacts with the physical body, the lower chakra system, you know, the top of it, the crown or the king of the lower chakra system is the solar plexus. Remember, that's the sun. And I had a lemon in the last video to help you remember that color. And then we go down below that is the orange one, the sacral. And then below that yet is the red one, the root. Actually, the root has red and it has black and it has maybe even a little bit of really dark brown. So, but red is the color we typically associate with that one. So we've worked in that system, and hopefully you have worked in that system, because really to be psychically balanced, you do need to work in your lower chakra system. The lower chakra system is the part of your system that grounds you. And the more grounded you are, the more you can open to the higher realms. The deeper your roots go, the higher up your consciousness will be able to open. The more you'll be able to just beam out that third eye later on and commune with the spirit realm. So grounding is very important. Why do you think I spend so much time out in nature? It helps me to ground. There's other reasons, and we're going to talk about one of those other reasons tonight. But anyway, to understand where we're going tonight with the heart chakra, you need to understand where you've come from in the lower chakra system. So hopefully you have at least watched the videos before this that I've created for you, and been meditating on some of those colors, to help get those chakras balanced and healthy. Now, the heart chakra is a very unique chakra, and it is located, quote unquote. Understand, these things aren't just located like a physical object, by the way. They're not physical objects. They are sort of semi-physical, etherical, which would mean part physical and part spiritual, largely energetic. But if you want to think of a location in time and space, the heart chakra would be located where, dear one? Well, obviously in the heart, in the center of your chest, which I'm pointing to right here on me. What I'd like you to do right now, before we go any further in our discussion, I'd like you to take your hand, left or right, whatever you're comfortable with, and I want you to place it over your heart chakra, which is right by where your heart is. Okay? Very good. Now, I'd like for you to just close your eyes for a moment and take a few deep breaths while you hold your hand over your heart. And I want you to just breathe into your heart chakra. Breathe into it and feel it. Make contact with your own heart chakra right now. Don't wait. Let's just breathe into that heart center right now. Very good. And 3 to 4 nice deep breaths would be just perfect here. So if you haven't already done that, please pause the video now and take 3 or 4 nice deep breaths like I just did into your heart chakra. Because you really have to feel the heart chakra. I mean, I'm going to tell you some about my ideas on it and some of the associations, quote unquote, and some other things that you can do to help stimulate it. I mean, heck, we've already started off talking about the holly and the pine and how that helps with the heart chakra a little bit. But this is not something, this heart center, you can't understand it purely by thought. You have to literally feel into it. You have to move into the heart. And I hope you'll spend some time here and some work with the heart chakra, especially if you are studying with me, because the path that I am on, in other words, if you consider yourself a student of mine, if you are even interested in following in my lineage, then the heart chakra is central, it is core to the psychic work that I do. The readings that I do, the ministry work that I do, the teaching work, the herbalism even. This is coming from the heart chakra. I am a heart chakra focused psychic. It doesn't mean that I don't also access the other chakras. I very much do. But it means, like, for example, when I want to connect with you, okay, or your spirit to do a reading for you, or your guides, the doorway for me, the main doorway, I should say, is through the heart chakra. And how is that possible? I mean, because when you think about psychic connection, when most people think about psychic connection, when they think about the ability to do readings, for example, to tune into energies, to sense spirits, to commune with nature spirits, to see the future, for example, or even to heal, when most people think about these things, they actually think more about the upper chakras being involved. They don't think about the heart, or only think about it as secondary. So how is it that I do these things primarily through my heart chakra? Well, there is actually a logic to it. And perhaps as I tell you a little bit more about the heart chakra, you'll start to understand why it is, in fact, sensible and logical as a psychic to really develop your heart chakra and lean into it and balance it and strengthen it, and to come from the heart as a psychic. I hope that you'll do that. I mean, at least if you consider yourself my student in my lineage, our lineage, I should say, the lineage, this heart chakra lineage, right? It's a certain path. It's a different kind of path. It's not for everyone, okay? But this heart chakra, what is this all about? By the way, it's its own system. Remember, we're moving through these chakras system by system. We're looking at them in groups. The heart chakra, although it seems to be just one chakra, is a universe all of itself, dear one. Now, I know that not all of you watching this are yogis, and I know not all of you get into studying, ancient Sanskritic energetic systems, but hopefully you do know the chakras come right out of India and yoga, in particular in the ancient yogic systems. And we borrow upon them for our psychic work. Most psychics that I know are not yogis. Like myself, I pretty much am a yogi. I love yoga, and it's just a really important part of my practice. It doesn't mean it has to be part of your practice, but I want you to know, if you haven't already figured that out already, that the chakra system comes straight out of India, straight out of yoga, okay? And these yogi masters, they also, many of them had what we call the siddhis, which were the psychic abilities. And they worked in the chakras to help open those, among other things. Of course, yoga is also a system for health and longevity. But they were also opening the spiritual psychic abilities and the consciousness. And in the yogic system where we get the chakras, there are these energy pathways called the nadis. Now, you don't have to know every aspect of the energetic system according to the yogis to awaken psychically. But tonight, to understand the heart chakra, I do need to make mention of the nadis. And the nadis are like nerve channels running throughout the body, and there's quite a few of them. Gosh, it's been a while since I've had to quote that number, but I don't know if it's 100,000 or more. There's a lot, okay, thousands. All these channels throughout the body. And your chakras are where these nadis come together. We may have talked about this in the first video on the chakra system. I think we did. And how the chakras are basically where these channels of energy, they're basically where major arteries of energy come together in the energetic system. Now, here's the thing. The heart chakra is where it all comes together. All the energies and all the nadis flow in and through your heart chakra, dear one. It's the heart. The heart. The heart is the nexus. I mean, we even use that word in our language when we say something, this is the heart of this. We understand it to be the main generating system. So without a healthy, balanced heart chakra, you have nothing in your chakra system, okay? If you are dragging around a bunch of emotional shit in your heart chakra, you have no psychic health. I mean, I know that sounds extreme. And actually, there are some psychics that would disagree with me. They would say, well, you can work on opening your third eye and your throat chakra and your crown, and it doesn't matter what's happening in your heart chakra. They're wrong, okay? They're just wrong. At least in my experience. And I have quite a bit of experience. My whole life, okay? And especially in working with students, one of the experiences that has led me to where I'm at now in using the flower essences so much, in working with students and trying to get you all to use them, is because, I don't know, after about, would it be like 15 years or more of teaching, what I finally realized was that what was holding my students back the most was their emotional crap. And they weren't dealing with that. So I know that when you enrolled in this course, probably the last thing you were thinking was, about your emotional crap, right? And we all have it, okay? We all have it. It's part of the earthly experience that things happen and we get hurt, and we often store that up and carry that in the heart chakra. And if you're blocked in that center, can you understand, think about that. I mean, if there's a block in that central matrix of energy, how is the psychic energy and the information and the insight, how is it going to flow out to the rest of your consciousness? I mean, it's at least going to be constricted. So I really, really encourage you, dear one, to work in the heart chakra. And I realize you're just getting started. This is just a level 1 course. This is just, it's called just the beginning, right? Beginning on the journey. But you can begin in this chakra, as with all others, using the color of the chakra. And the color of the heart is, guess what? One of my favorite colors. Ta-da! Green. Green. I didn't wear green tonight because I always have green around me, almost always, when I'm shooting these videos. And I think you know what the color green looks like. So you can use that color. And what I'd like to do right now, and I want to just get into this further with you, is I'd like us to meditate together with the color, again, with your hand over your heart. I find it really makes it easier when we're doing any kind of heart chakra meditation to put at least one hand or even two hands over the heart. So maybe if you're able to this time, let's see if we can do the two hands over the heart. If for some reason you have to hold something in your other hand, put it down if you can, okay, if you're able to. And I will say, a lot of times when we're opening up psychically, we want to open our hands to receive. And that is good, okay? We might talk about that as we move into the upper chakras. But for the heart, there's something about connecting physically and viscerally that really jumpstarts the healing in the heart chakra and the communication. Because what we're doing here too in this series and in this part of our series is we're trying to get you communicating with your heart chakras and all of your chakras. Actually, you just want to communicate with your entire energy system because well, the thing is that the more alive your chakra system can be, the more psychically open you will be, the more in tune, the more you'll notice, the more aware, also the more miracles you will attract and create. That's part of the psychic realm too, in my opinion, not just reading, but the ability to manifest, to attract, to create. And all of this is very much tied into your relationship with your energy system. So you want to get your energy system active, you want to get it expanded, you want to get it moving, and really that just starts with communication. It's building a relationship. So let's communicate with our heart chakras now. And if you will, let's take our hands, and don't worry about which one's over the other. Just put your hand or your hands there. And get a nice straight posture and open up your chest. Okay, I'm going to move my hands for a moment just so you can see a little better. So I'm opening up, raising chest, kind of like ballet posture almost. Ballet, by the way, incidentally, is a dance of the heart. So if any of you dance ballet or dance ballet as a child, that posture, the way you stand up, you start to go up. The heart is the doorway into the upper chakras. Guess what? It's also the doorway into the lower chakras. The heart is the gateway. Gateway. So we have our nice posture. We have our nice heart open posture. And yes, it's nice. It helps to put the chin a little up like I'm doing here. I realize now my head isn't all the way on the video, but that's okay. And just start to breathe in to your heart. Eyes open, eyes closed. Whatever you want to do. You will find with the eyes closed that it's easier to make that contact. Breathing deeply. And feel your consciousness moving into the heart. Feel your heart. And begin to feel and perceive a green light there. For now, don't try to make it any certain kind of green. Just feel what shade of green is there. Now, sometimes I see a little pink there too in the heart chakra. That's actually the higher level, the next dimensional heart chakra, and that's okay if you see some of that. Don't worry about that. But concentrate on the green for now. Just breathe into it for a few seconds longer, visualizing that ball, that spinning ball of radiant green light. It will show you what color it needs to be. And if it's not spinning, just breathe into it anyway. Good. And just let yourself breathe in a normal way now, dear one, keeping your hands over your heart chakra. If you need to adjust them a little, you can. And what I want you to do now is give yourself just a little massage there. And as you're doing that, I want you to send pure love into your own heart chakra. For this is the chakra of love, of connection, of merging, of community, of feeling oneness in a sort of Christ consciousness, higher universal, higher love way. So give yourself that little massage and then just think thoughts of love to you and to your own heart chakra. Soothe your heart. Very good. Now what we learn when we work in the heart chakra, what you will learn if you do this work, and if you come with me on this path of the heart-centered psychic, you will learn that you are the source of love in your world. You will find within this heart center, when it is open, when it is strong, you will find great strength, great love for yourself and others. The more you work in it, the less you'll quote unquote need others to do anything for you emotionally, the less you'll need them to approve of you, the less you'll need them to love you. Not that you won't want that, but you won't need it, quote unquote, because the heart is rich and abundant. It is its own universe, remember? It can provide for us everything that we need in terms of connecting. The heart is meant to connect. It is not meant to defend. So I would invite you and encourage you as you are going on your journey to check in with your heart chakra, obviously frequently, and quite a bit in the beginning, okay? When you're beginning to establish communication. And check for heart walls. And how will you know if you have a heart wall? Well, it just sort of will feel like cut off. If you feel cut off from others, or if you feel cut off from someone in your life, okay? There's a place where you feel a barrier between you and another, a strong barrier where you feel like you have to emotionally protect yourself from them real strongly, where you feel you have to be cold towards them. That is most likely a heart wall. Now, please don't be mistaken. We do need to have protection and boundaries, okay? What I'm saying here is that those boundaries ideally would not come from the heart, because the heart is not good with that. The heart is not wired to create boundaries. The solar plexus is. So if you need to send out energy to shield or protect yourself, and that's a little bit more advanced than this part of the course, but if you're working on that already, please do that from the solar plexus or some people do it from the third eye even, or just invoke your angels and guides from the upper chakras, any of the upper chakras, and ask them to shield you, okay? Ask Archangel Michael or your fairy guardians or your ancestors. It depends on, what perspective you're working from. But do not shield from your heart chakra, because if you do that, you will harden it over. It will become like this blue-green rock I have in my pocket here. It will become harder, okay? That is not what you want. It's just like with the physical heart. I mean, what happens when somebody's arteries start hardening over, the heart starts hardening over? I mean, you may not be a medical doctor, but surely you know that's not good and can lead to something, akin to a heart attack or something similar, a stroke, or just something not good, okay? So if it's not good when the physical heart or the blood vessels or the energy there hardens over, why would it be good for the spiritual heart? It wouldn't be. So we're going to work in this heart chakra as part of our spiritual psychic path, and we'll come back to it time and time again. In fact, I might have you working more in the heart chakra than some of the other chakras. But remember, this is the center of it all. It's the doorway, it's the launching point. You can go into the upper chakra system from the heart chakra system, or you can easily go down into the lower chakra system. It's the whole universe, it's the cosmos. And of course, the heart chakra does relate to our relationships. I probably don't need to tell you that, but in case you didn't know that or didn't think about that this is the emotional center, right? So think about, the quality of your relationships being affected by this. Wouldn't you like the quality of your relationships to be good? And again, I find that the more we work in this heart chakra, the more loving we become. And the more we start to generate love, rather than needing love, we generate love. And then we are happy to give love. And that builds us up. Now, we also need to be able to be open to receive love. And I will tell you, many psychic types that I work with, many students and clients who are naturally psychic, have a hard time being open to receive love. And so if that's you, dear one, work in the heart chakra, send that love into yourself. At first, it might feel a little, woo-woo or a little uncomfortable. You might even have thoughts come up like, I'm not worthy, or who am I to send love to myself or to anyone else? Just keep going. Keep sending the light. In addition to the green light, you can also send a beautiful white light or a golden white light. Or what I really like to work with is the opalescent white light. So that would be like a white, but tinged with all the fire rainbow, all the colors of the rainbow, like an opal or a moonstone. And by the way, you can do that with any of the chakras. Any of the chakras, you can lift them up and purify them and balance them simply by sending that white light, the golden white light, the silver white light, the opalescent white light. Or you might even visualize for the heart a white light tinged with green. See what that's like. I've never actually done that, I don't think, but that sounds fun, doesn't it? So these are things that you can begin to do, techniques to acquaint yourself with the heart chakra, to balance it, to become that source of love. And I do want to say, especially if you're on this path and you're thinking that you want to be, as I call it, a psychic with a capital P. That's actually a run. Isn't that cool? That's Wunjo. Okay. But capital P, let's see if I can do a circle. Okay. In other words, if you think that you might want to eventually use your gifts, not only for yourself or just a few friends and family members, but you want to go out there in the world, then you really need to open this heart chakra, because especially to be a teacher, to be an effective teacher, it takes a very open heart chakra. It takes a strength in the heart, the strength that you can feel coming from me in these videos, that deep source of unconditional love. That is generating through my heart chakra. And it also, is not just all about giving. Remember, it's about letting yourself receive. I mean, if you are going to go very far on this path, whether you're doing it, out there in the public or not, if you're just going to go further on your path, then you're going to need to have a very strong and healthy heart chakra. Now, obviously, because the emotions are involved here, that is part of it too. It's not all just about meditating, okay, and sending light and sending love. It largely is. If you will do that and do that regularly, you will feel the change, you will open, and you'll really be able to connect. When you do read for people later on, you'll be able to connect with them in a more meaningful way. Because the thing is, it's one thing to lay out some information, and you might even have some very good, inspired information. You might be really connected in and seeing for them. But if you don't connect with them on a heart level, they don't get it. They just don't get it. So first learn to connect with you on a heart level. And then later we'll talk about, not in this level 1, but maybe in level 2 or 3 or 4, I don't know. But we'll talk about connecting with them on a heart level. But you have to know thyself first. And take your flower essences, if you have them. Deal with your emotional stuff. The flower essences help with that. They help to do the work for you. So that's just another aside there. And for those of you who do work with crystals or stones, I think this is actually chrysocolla. I was trying to find, it's like a raw chrysocolla. I was trying to find fluorite. I have fluorite around here. But anyway, any of the stones with green in them would work well. So, go over to your favorite crystal or New Age store, or whether it's in person or online, and find yourself a nice green crystal or stone and have that nearby. That can be very good for working with the heart chakra. Alrighty? However you do it, and do incorporate the love and the colors, begin to initiate yourself into this heart path. Don't wait, okay? Don't skip this lesson. Don't think, oh, well, I just need to hurry up and get on to the upper chakras, because if your heart ain't in the right place, your head sure ain't going to be in the right place, okay? And, you want to be anchored in the heart, in my opinion. You're grounded in the root, anchored in the heart, open in the crown. That's what we're going for here on this path of awakening your inner psychic, on the road of being a spiritual psychic, on this tradition. So I believe your homework is obvious here. Your assignments, work with these techniques, these ideas. Just pay attention to your heart. Begin to listen to it. Turn inward. Feel it. Let it talk to you. And don't be in a hurry to fix it. If you have grief, or it's sad, or it's telling you something doesn't feel good to you, don't just try to push that down, because that's probably what you have been doing. And that ain't working for the psychic path, okay? For the psychic path, we have to listen. We have to feel. We have to honor this beautiful heart chakra. So until next time, that is your assignment, dear one. Tune into your heart and honor it. And if you do have anything that's coming up from within your heart about the heart chakra or this video that you would like to share, please feel free to comment below. Until next time, bright blessings.